May Almighty Allah grant the soul of former President Muhammad Buhari al-Jannat al-Firdaus. Now, even in mourning, life reminds us to count our blessings and name them one by one. Yet as humans, we rarely do that. Instead, we tend to dwell on what we lack. But the truth is, simple things like sight and speech, which many of us take for granted, are for others treasures more precious than gold, or perhaps I should say crude oil. Now this report by Achari Maxwell not only reminds us to count our blessings, but also shows that resilience doesn't need eyes to see or a voice to be heard.
In the heart of Kaduna lies white walls, no voices, but only movement. This is the Kaduna State School for Children with Special Needs, home to nearly 800 children living with visual and hearing impairments. Some can see, but cannot hear. Others can hear, but cannot see.
Esma, is that day that we catch one girl we beat her that day?
In one classroom, a teacher with a hearing impairment communicates effortlessly with her pupils.
Is it correct? Is it correct? Wrong. Oh yeah, you know the answer. Oh yeah, spelling. FATIMA.
Many of the children make sounds with their feet as they walk, perhaps their own way of engaging with a world they cannot hear. The sound of a bell rings out. It is closing time. Those who can see guide those who cannot. Together, they move as one family thriving in unity.
We use Braille to teach them, though they can hear, but they can't see. So we have two different departments. So I have to learn how to use sign language.
I'm happy, very, very happy.
She's happy,
Why?
very, very happy.
Because I'm alive.
They are indeed special, peaceful, gentle and full of love. Love, in fact, found a home here. Two teachers, united by a purpose, met and married within these walls.
Federal College of Education.
What she loves about her husband is that, number one, he's very intelligent, and secondly, he's respectful, and also he knows how to cook very sweet, delicious food.
Meet Musa Saidu, the principal. After over 30 years of service here, he calls this school his second home.
Is what the children need is empathy, not sympathy. Somebody is deficient in hearing. What of other organs? They are still functioning well. So why? So we are just looking at one aspect, but other aspects, other organs, other systems of the body are still functioning. So they can be utilized, so the child can excel.
They are clapping.
In this unique space, even visitors feel drawn to learn sign languages, pulled in by the deep connections that defined this school, Kaduna State School for Children with Special Needs, a world where silence speaks and love lives.
Indeed. Thank you. Now, Nigeria is often defined by her rich natural resources, but somewhere in this part of the country, a silent revolution is brewing. It's one that's not powered by oil or minerals, but you know what? By ideas, creativity, and innovation. Now, from makeshift labs to bustling tech hubs, a new generation of Nigerian minds reimagining the future, crafting prototypes, not just for your admiration, but for real-life solutions and experiences to everyday Nigerian problems. And that's what Larry Billy is about to do. He caught up with some of these young trailblazers daring to build, invent, and of course, disrupt the norm.
Accessing primary health centers in remote areas is often an uphill task. Distance involved often limits frequent visitations by scarce medical officers. The menace of plastic pollution, on the other hand, can certainly cover unimaginable distances, hitting doorsteps and families. To tackle these crucial issues, nations the world over are now harnessing the power of technology. And in Nigeria, budding innovators are standing up to be counted in profiling solutions. These young Nigerians, ages 20 to 21, and still in higher education institutions, have invented a device that can serve the health sector.
So what this device does is that it helps nurses to monitor patients' data even from the comfort of their office. So instead of you coming every 20 minutes or 30 minutes to come and check what is going on, this device does that with a web app.
We observe that there are challenges with the medical sector, especially in rural areas, and systems like this are not very accessible to those people in rural areas and are only available to the elites, the private hospitals.
No, it's affordable, but we are students, so funding was sort of an issue for us, but we got provision and we put this together. This is just like a startup.
You've heard from Phoebe, Tommy and Easy about their prototype, what they've designed. Another one that is quite impressive is this 3D printer, this prototype that is right here. This prototype, main thing is to turn PET bottles like this into this.
This is a 3D printing filament machine that uses waste PET bottles that we can find many on the streets in water bodies. So we'll use this bottle and convert it into the 3D printing filament, which is a feedstock that this 3D printing machine needs. So instead of leaving this on landfills, we reclaim it and then we shred it, pass it through this hot end extruder, which will now melt it and then bring out a filament of a specific diameter. This is about 2 millimeters that will be spooled and then we can use it. So we'll have bundles like this, which is needed. For now, these things are being imported and a kilogram of it is about 40,000 naira.
This invention are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many out there with innovations that with sufficient financial support can make Nigeria experience a boom in local solutions to peculiar challenges.
And indeed, funding has always been a problem, for research works like that. And I do hope that, our private philanthropists will actually take interest and pride in, of course, funding such innovation. And of course, talking about innovation, one thing about royal succession is that it's often shrouded in mystery, disputes, and at times even politics creeping. But in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, the story is quite different. Here, ascending the throne of the Ibadan isn't about having royal blood. It's all about honor, patience, and service. In fact, any male indigene of Ibadan can dream of becoming a king, thanks to a time-tested hierarchical system that sets the Ibadan monarchy apart from others across Yoruba land. Kendi Omolosho takes us through the beauty of this unique tradition that charts the path to the Ibadan's throne.
Ibadan is about to witness another historic moment in its long line of royal transitions, following the recent passing of His Imperial Majesty Oba Akinloye Owolabi Olakuleyin. The revered stool of the Olubadan of Ibadan has become vacant.
Ibadan is unique in so many ways, one of which is its tradition in the ascension to the throne of Olubadan of Ibadan land. This process begins from attaining the position of Magaji through the ranks to that of the Olubadan of Ibadan, making it easy to know the next Olubadan the moment one Olubadan is installed. But what is the reason behind this uniqueness of culture and tradition?
Magaji will be promoted, first of all, approved by the Olubadan, and promoted if there's a vacancy. 2 lines lead to the Olubadan throne. Balogun line, Olubadan line. You climb 23 steps if it's your destiny to become Olubadan. on the Balogun line, 22 steps on the Olubadan line.
Here in Ibadan, people came from all over, and everybody has a right to the position of the Olubadan of Ibadan. So now there is no contention, and nobody is in any doubt as to who is going to be next, Olubadan of Ibadan land.
The ascension of Senator Rashid Ladoja as Olubadan to our respondents is not just a royal installation, as it marks the return of a leader who blends tradition, modern governance, and global exposure. His experience as a governor, businessman, and technocrat in their submission places him in a prime position to serve as a bridge between Ibadan's rich cultural heritage and the demands of the 21st century.
I can assure you that his coming on board now means a lot of goodness, a lot of goodies for the people of Ibadan.
He loves people, and they should be expecting the best of the royalty or the best of Olubadans.
And with his popularity and his personalities, will bring many things added to what we have in the state, in the city. But
this unique and peaceful process is one of the reasons why the Ibadan traditional system is often cited as a model for chieftaincy succession in Nigeria and beyond.
All right, welcome back. Now, in the Igbo language, Inugu literally means on top of the hill. Now, with such a name, you'd expect that a place perched on high ground to be steeped in mystery. So it's hardly surprising that reaching certain communities involves climbing steep hills or even descending deep valleys. But what truly fascinated our correspondent, Tessie Mary, during her visit to Marco community in Enugu State wasn't just the terrain. It was the curious taboo. Now, no one dares to fish in the river or even eat the fish from it.
This place is called Inugu, meaning hilltop in Igbo language. The vegetation is breathtaking and also beautiful to behold.
Maku, a community in Ogu local government area of Enugu State, located in a blend of topography of hills and valleys, portrays the beauty of nature. A peculiar community with houses both on a hill or down the valley, the gift of nature which the community cherished.
The topography of this my area, Mako, is actually unique as a result of volcanic eruption in the olden days. We move up, we go down.
It has a very good vegetation and very fertile land. And sometimes you may find out that someone on top may even be hanging his clothes or other things on the roof of another person. But it has been so designed.
A predominantly farming community, the people of Maku adopt a terrace method of farming which is significantly addressing flood and erosion.
It's a special farm because of the nature of our land.
We have a type of topography that makes it difficult to use the normal standard. So we use terrace farming. Instead of going vertical, we go across.
If you look at the ridges here, you see the way they are made. The way they are made now allows water as it's flowing down, collects in the ridges. Does not allow it to accumulate large enough to cause erosion. And this is what we practiced over the years. So despite the hilly nature of my community, you can't get erosion here.
It will interest you to know that the community is free from mosquitoes with favorable weather conditions for a healthy living.
This is the only place you come, you don't have mosquito because there's no snagging water at all. If rain falls, all of them will flow out. And there's no heat. If you open your windows, because you are not afraid of it, so there's gentle breeze. In short, this place is just equivalent to Switzerland, where they have the same type of environment. So it's a healthy resort area.
And one of the hills there comes a river called Mam River. And this Mam River has its source from this town, Mago. It is not far. You have a lot of fish, catfish, along the river. But in this town, nobody kills the fish. Nobody touches the fish. Even if when you go to fetch water and the little ones enter your bucket, if you come home and see the little fish, you just pack it back to the river and put it there.
Out of curiosity, I and my team visited a river in the community where fishes can only be admired and not consumed.
Whoa, come and see the fish, come and see the fish.
Another amazing thing is that some species of snakes, like the green snake, are considered sacred.
When you see green snake, don't kill it because it's not harmful and it's culture of the land. You can come to the house, you spread it water, it will go. If you kill any green snake, you bury it as the buried human being, do the necessary thing as normal burial. You can see it in the bush where it's far, you can kill it there. But when near house, around the premises, you cannot kill it.
Surrounded by economic trees and vegetables, including bitter kola, oil bean seed, that spring up all year round, Maku community is nature's gift not only to Enugu State, but Nigeria at large. This same community was used to showcase Nigeria's beautiful scenery during one of the editions of the famous Ruga Ultimate Set, right in this forest.
When you talk about nature at its best, this is exactly what you get here in Maku. You remember Tiwa Bello's song, "The Land is Green." This is that land.
What do you expect in Inugu, or what do you expect from Maku community? Let's take a break. Newsline, we'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to Newsline. And like I told you earlier when we started, we're devoting tonight to condolences, of course, for the former President Muhammadu Buhari, who just passed. And so we have more condolences coming up. This one from former military head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who's extended his heartfelt condolences to the family of late Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the former head of state says he received the news with heavy heart, the passing of a friend, brother, coursemate, and a fellow soldier in their journey of nationhood. General Ibrahim Babangida says former President Muhammadu Buhari served Nigeria with a deep sense of responsibility and unwavering commitment, and even when the road was lonely, or according to the Ibrahim Babangida, when the road was lonely or misunderstood, he prayed Allah to grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus and grant his family and Nigerians the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. And there's also a condolence message coming from the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar. He has expressed his condolences over the demise of the immediate past President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. And he describes Muhammadu Buhari's passing as the end of an era, and I quote, underscoring the significant contributions he made towards nation building and his unwavering belief in the traditional institution as a pathway to achieving a Nigeria characterized by peace, unity, and prosperity. And he also notes that the former president, during his military and presidency times, did his best for the love of the country and humanity, and prays that Allah grant his soul the bliss of the grave and repose his soul in Al-Jannah Firdaus. And finally, a condolence message coming from the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, on behalf, according to him, of all the service chiefs, women of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, and of course, he's extending heartfelt condolences to the family, President Bola Tinubu, over the loss of the statesman and gallant soldier. The CDS notes that the late president has written his name in gold As an incorruptible leader and vanguard of prudency, President Buhari, according to him, was a symbol of dedication to national service, and that's according to the CDS. Today is a great day. You know why? Nigeria has lost yet another towering symbol of history and heritage. The Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebu land has joined his ancestors. He was a monarch revered not just for his royal lineage, but for his enduring influence in national affairs. And we also have a release from the governor, Dakbo Abiodun, who has officially announced the passing of Oba Sikiru Kaode Adetona, the Awujale of Ijebu land, the revered Awujale of Ijebu land. Oba Adetona joined his ancestors today at the age of 91, leaving behind a remarkable legacy that has significantly shaped Ijebu land, Ogun State, and Nigeria in general. Now, according to the statement by the governor, it is indeed double sadness that Oba Adetona joined his ancestors the same day that the former president passed on as well. Describing Oba Sikiru Kaode Adetona as a remarkable royal father who ascended the throne in 1960, marking the beginning of a transformative era for Ijebu land. Now, throughout his reign, he was a beacon of unity, cultural preservation, and progressive development. Now, his dedication to welfare of his people was evident in his efforts to foster educational advancements, healthcare improvements, and economic growth within the state and Nigeria. Governor Abiodun prays for his soul to rest in peace and continue to uphold the values he instilled in us during his illustrious reign. You're watching Newsline, and so we continue away from all of this, and we pray that Almighty God grant the soul of the Awujale a Jannah Fidels. We continue with our story. After over 6 years of caring for her ailing husband, Vivian Eze Onwumelo thought the worst was over when her husband passed away in Adazi Eno in Anambra State. But instead of solace, she faced fresh agony, thrown out of her home with her son by her husband's relatives. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports that her story mirrors a troubling reality across Igbo land, where many widows face dispossession and other harmful traditional practices in the wake of their husband's deaths.
The death of a dear one, especially one's husband, comes with a lot of agony and trauma, and the stress becomes more complex and compounded when members of the deceased family, who are supposed to console and assist the chief mourner, turn against her. This captures the story of a 41-year-old Vivian Ezonwumelu from Adazenu in Anosha local government area of Anambra State.
Immediately after the death of my husband, 10 days after, they came to sell the land. I went to Nobi to buy something. I took my son to school. From there, I went to Nobi. Inside Nobi, I received call that they have removed all the sink of my house. Rushing to the house, I saw my Lord outside. God will help you. Let the justice prevail.
The cry of this widow attracted the attention of the Anambra State government as she was invited to the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare.
According to them, they say they came with court 2 judgment. When we are in court 1, the case has not yet finished, and no one give me somewhat invitation. It's because I don't want them to sell my husband portion of land.
As long as the thing is open and the government knows about it, definitely the widow must be protected. And the person abusing her, we make sure the person is punished. according to what the law says.
While waiting for the law to take its course on the perpetrators of these acts, respondents condemned totally what they described as forceful ejection and other harmful widowhood practices.
A widow should be given a fair treatment in families wherever they see themselves. Any ill treatment that is given to them, bring them to always remember the pains they have been going through.
Because what is happening now is very, is not even what to talk about. You see a widow, you see their family maltreating them. It should stop. And what they should be doing is encouraging them.
In spite of all odds, death is a price all mortals must pay. And do not forget the saying that what goes around comes around. Tomorrow, it may be your turn or that of your relative.
Now, the sudden death of Isabella Ajana, a law student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, has sparked outrage on campus. Now, students there allege that rigid hostel rules delayed medical help, possibly costing her life. Now, they are demanding justice and a review of the policy they believe contributed to that tragedy. Daniel Okbai reports for Newsline.
A promising life cut short, a campus in mourning, a nation in shock. The story of Ajana Isabella, a young law student whose death has triggered emotional outcry and a call for justice that is now reverberating across the country.
So yeah, on an individual level, I think people should prioritize life, know when to bend the rule, right, in order to protect human life. And in that, I don't think that policy in the first place makes any sense, right? If you lose your key, you pay 40,000 naira for key. Is it iron door? Is it the door that you're replacing? It's just a key. So I don't know if it's actually what happened, but if that is the case, then it is sad.
Should be enough security guiding every facilities inside the school facility, so that all this kind of thing will not occur or will not happen.
She was 23 years old, a first-year law student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, loved and admired by friends with a future as bright as her name. On Sunday, July 6th, Isabella and her roommates allegedly lost their room key. When they approached their hostel mistress, one Madam Bright, for a spare, it was alleged that the hostel mistress insisted they pay an astonishing 120,000 naira. They pleaded with her for the spare key so that Isabella could get her insulin drugs. The hostel mistress allegedly refused, insisting it was the hostel's policy.
It was here at this hostel, Unizik, that Isabella spent her final hours in agony, not from accident, not from natural disaster, but allegedly from cold indifference and negligence.
By the time Isabella was rushed to the hospital, it was too late. She slipped into a coma and 3 days later on, Wednesday, July 9, passed away. Authorities at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, sues for calm, as the school has instituted a panel of inquiry to unravel the circumstances surrounding the unfortunate incident.
On the center of the panel was to find out the remote and the far-reaching causes for the death of the lady, and then the very hostel that is involved, to see how to really kind of examine the operations. The university management assures all staff, students, and the general public of the university's determination to sustain the cordial relations in the university.
A life lost, a lesson for a nation. That system without compassion is deadlier than disease. For now, a university mourns, and a family waits for justice.
So sad. So very sad. Now, we often take our freedom for granted, but when it's stolen, what is left is nothing but trauma, anxiety, and a long, long wait for answers. Now, in Inugu, Bayelsa State, the abduction of a prominent legal luminary by gunmen sent shockwaves across that city, leaving loved ones in anguish for 12 harrowing days. But what really happened? Timinipre Ohia has been following that case And this is what she brought back.
It all started on the 21st of June, 2025, precisely about 7:30 in the evening, when a disturbing incident filtered to the public that a State High Court judge who was in his car outside a popular eatery in Inugu was forcefully captured by gunmen. Although no information was heard about his whereabouts, except a swift government message directing security agencies to redouble efforts for his release. As will be expected, the mood of the town was on sober reflection, and discussion at different cycles was centered on the sad incidents. So, as the day goes by with no information on the whereabouts of the kidnapped High Court judge, not even from the kidnappers, to demand for a ransom as usual. In cases like this, the public, especially his associates, became more worried, warranting the visit of the President's Nigerian Bar Association to visit the state and add his voice to call for the release of one of their own. Fortunately, the needed message came.
Thankfully to God and the collective effort of security agencies within Bayelsa, we are finding foreclosures finally to the untoward event. I think this is the first time you see a commissioner of police in this special facility. This goes to tell you that we are bounded by our obligations to the public.
Although no questions were allowed at the press briefing, people are still excited as the rescued George spoke.
Today will go down in history as an unforgettable day for me. You know, I still couldn't come to terms with the fact that I'd been abducted, kidnapped, kept in the jungle by hoodlums masquerading as security men. I'm grateful to each and every one of you, and I thank God for using all of you to see to it that I came out today unscattered.
For now, security agencies have upscaled strategies to forestall incidents like this.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more condolence messages. Welcome back, and we've just received condolence message from the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the passing of His Majesty Oba Sikiru Kade at Daytona, the Abuja of Ijebu land. And the message President Tinubu says the Abuja was one of Nigeria's most outstanding, foremost and revered traditional rulers. His Royal Majesty Oba Sikiru Kade at Daytona joined his ancestors after over 65 remarkable years on the throne. The President says he received the news with double pain in his heart as it coincided with the passing of his predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari. The demise left an enormous void within the traditional institutions in Yoruba land and Nigeria in general. The President described Oba Daytona as a towering natural ruler who served his people with dignity, panache, class, and an unmistakable sense of duty. The President, of course, says he enjoyed an excellent personal relationship with the Kabiyesi and will forever cherish their time together. He was an honest, arbiter, confident, and reliable leader without any guile, and he found his company comforting, wisdom enriching, and candor empowering. The President says as the nation mourns Oba Daytona's passing, he extends his condolences to the family, Governor Dakbo Abiodun, the government and people of Ogun State, and sons and daughters of Ijebu land. And may the departed Kabiyesi find eternal rest and be comforted by his legacy of outstanding service. Now, that's the condolence message from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So tonight, we paid tribute to, of course, two men the former president whose presence shaped a national journey. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, his legacy, layered and lasting, will spark conversations for years to come. But even in moments of mourning, we are reminded to keep telling our stories. So until next week, Sunday, good night, everyone.
Thank you.